Hi, how are you? I'm Dr. Osvaldolemus, a medical esthetician, and today I'm going to talk about a topic that is very common that people ask me on social networks, especially on TikTok, and that is how to lighten that skin that was tanned, that was burned after going to the beach or after a day of work with a lot of sun exposure. Before I start the video, I remind you of my other social networks. I'm at Dr. Lemus on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Follow me, you would help me a lot. You will find different content. By the way, I invite you to subscribe and like me. You help me a lot. Lately, I have been tagged on social networks like TikTok and Instagram with videos where people or influencers lighten their skin using various products that you can find at home, such as vinegar, etc. Kitchen products. They mention before and after how they went to the beach, got burned, and coming back they smeared some substance and removed the tan. The truth is that you see these videos and they look amazing, but before you apply anything or I give you a recommendation, I would like you to understand what tanning is. Tanning is a way in which our body protects itself from ultraviolet rays. Ultraviolet UVA and UVB rays penetrate the skin and cause photo damage. In the skin there are cells called keratinocytes, and if these are too exposed to ultraviolet rays or the sun's rays, little by little their DNA is damaged, causing aging, blemishes and cancer. To prevent this from happening, the body does what we did not do, that is to use sunscreen or keep us from the sun, so the skin tends to be a colored protection as if it were a polarized car, so that ultraviolet rays do not enter our skin, more specifically to the core of the keratinocyte. So we can understand that tanning is a way of protecting the body in which it prevents ultraviolet rays from modifying the DNA of the skin cells to avoid damage, aging and disease. Skin color does not depend on how much you were exposed to the sun and how much you burned. It is very common to hear people say, when I was a kid I was lighter, but as time went by I got burned, or on the contrary I am not so pale. The truth is that I have hardly been out in the sun. The reality is that your skin tone or your skin phototype is something genetic that you are born with, and it is not going to be modified by sun exposure. Sun exposure only gives you a tan but does not change your skin phototype. To understand skin phototypes, we have to understand the Fitzpatrick scale, which basically classifies skin phototypes depending on the color of your skin, the color of your eyes, and your ability to tan under ultraviolet rays. Basically, there are 6 phototypes. From 1 to 3 are the light colored people, and from 4 to 6 are the darker colored people. Basically, I explained that phototype 1 is people who never tan. They don't have the ability to create melanin, so they always burn. Phototype 2 burns a little bit and tans a little bit. Phototype 3 burns a little and tans moderately. Phototype 4 burns very little and tans fairly well. Phototype 5 rarely burns and tans very easily. And phototype 6 never burns and always tans. What will determine your skin phototype? Your genetics. There's no way you can say you were phototype 1 as a kid and phototype 3 as a grown-up, or you got sunburned and you were phototype 2 and you came back to the beach as phototype 3. That does not happen. The only thing that happens is that you are a phototype and you got tanned. In other words, your skin darkened a little bit because it was protected, because it has the capacity to protect itself, but this will gradually disappear with the passing of time. When these hyperpigmented cells begin to die and new cells come out and you recover your original skin tone. Let's digress here. Patients who have less capacity to produce melanin or whose body is destroying it, such as patients with vitiligo and albino people, are more at risk of skin cancer precisely because their skin is not being protected from ultraviolet rays and their DNA is modified and cell replication is modified, and with this comes skin cancer. Now, tanning is not enough to protect our skin. Remember that the skin can be protected a little bit, but we have to help it. And this is where the recommendations to eliminate tanning come in. You have to know that your tan is going to come off naturally. You will recover your skin tone. This will happen in 2 to 5 months, as is normal. There are even people who recover their skin tone in just 1 month or even 2 years. These are already persistent tans, but you will never take 5, 6, 7 years or your entire adolescence to recover your skin tone. Tanning alone is not enough to protect the skin. The body needs extra protection. So to remove the tan, 1, sunscreen, physical protections like sleeves, hats, hiding from the sun, not going out at times when the sun is much stronger. So the sunscreen prevents the ultraviolet rays from stimulating the synthesis of melanin, so our body will gradually depigment because there is no longer a stimulus that is pigmenting it. The second point is exfoliation. If we increase cell turnover, if we force the body to eliminate superficial cells, the body will be increasing cell turnover in a healthy way so that these pigmented cells are eliminated and new cells appear. And little by little the tan will be eliminated. For this there are dermal cleansers that have exfoliants that can be used during the bath or during facial cleansing, such as Dermopure by Eucerin, Exfoliating Scrub by Dermaheal, and Kleenex Gel by Panalab. Keep in mind that the chemical exfoliator will not completely eliminate the tan, it will simply help it to pass much faster. It should also be understood that the damage caused by ultraviolet radiation to the skin is not eliminated along with the tan. The tan or hyperpigmentation goes away, but the photo damage stays forever, so it is cumulative and must be avoided. 3. There are in-office chemical peels with which we can remove the tan. Obviously, as they are very large areas, very extensive, we cannot peel the whole body. Usually we can do it on the face and neck to lighten a little bit, while the rest of your body lightens at its own pace. You have to be careful with this and do it right, because we can have a tone on the face and then a tone on the arms, and this may not look so aesthetic. That is why it is important to consult with your doctor. 4th tip, that seems funny, but it happens a lot. Many people think they are using sunscreen, but they are really using sunscreen. So they say, oh doctor, I look darker and darker, more burned, or no matter how much I protect my skin, I don't see that it is getting lighter. And when we check what you are using a sunscreen, and you are not really using a sunscreen. So be very careful there. 5th tip, avoid foods with beta carotene, because a lot of times people think they are tanning, but they are actually doing a natural tan. They are reddening their skin because of the beta carotene that is in all these foods like papaya, carrots, beets, which are okay to eat. They are natural sources of vitamins, etc. But all of a sudden there are people who every day in the morning drink their vampire juice, drink their carrot smoothie, etc. Then they start to pigment their skin with tan tones. And the last tip is not to let your body despair on its own. Even if we do absolutely nothing, it will regain its original tone, because the body exfoliates itself only by removing the hyperpigmented cells. And if you don't want to do anything or don't wear anything, you just have to photoprotect it, that is, use sunscreen and wait. That was it for my video today. I hope you liked it. I remind you of my social networks. I'm like Dr. Lemus on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You help me a lot if you like me, if you subscribe to my channel, if you hit the notification bell so that as soon as I upload a video, you get a notification. Dr. Lemus just uploaded a video. Click on it and be one of the first to see it. Let me know in the comments what you thought, if you already knew these tips, and especially what video you would like me to talk about, and I'll see you in the next video.